Welcome back. We always love when he's here. Well, with only weeks to go, can you believe this, until spring break season begins? That's just crazy to think about. Time is running out, really, to book your trip. And we're helping you, as we always try to do at the beginning of these seasons, find the best prices for flights. Here to help is the founder of ThriftyTraveler.com, our good friend. Welcome back, Jared, everybody. Hi, Jared.
Great to see you.
Good to see you. We missed you last time. You were unavailable. You were very busy. And your colleague filled in, Kyle did. He was very nervous trying to replace you. And he was very nervous. He was sweating a little bit. I said, he did a fabulous job. I said, but there's no one like Jared. It's good to have him back, yeah. Can I ask I want to ask a broad, no pun, flight analogy, 37,000 feet view. Domestic flight prices, and I know there are a lot of variables, have been insanely high for, I don't know, 21, 22, into 23. What is the trend line looking like as we go into 24?
Yeah, flight prices in general, whether it's domestic or international, are on the downward slide generally. I mean, we're seeing some of the lowest prices we've seen since like 2019, pre-pandemic, but it's gonna really depend on what's your home airport, where you're going, because things can still seem very expensive, but it's important to remember, like, broadly,
Yeah. And and tell me if this is anecdotal or if I'm seeing real evidence. I'm seeing, and look, we're a Delta hub here, but Delta's in Orlando and Chicago. I am seeing more flight deal opportunities. Is that a mirage, or is it true? I'm seeing more emails from you guys.
No question, running a company that literally is based off of finding flight deals, we are finding way more deals, whether you're booking, a cash ticket or using your points and miles. Things are just definitely getting cheaper, and there are so many more opportunities.
Do you see that? I mean, again, crystal ball time, a lot of variables. Do you see this continuing at least through the quarter one, quarter two?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think the airlines are trying to fix this oversupply. I know everything's nerdy and supply and demand.
No, please, no, this is why you're here.
Econ 101 is really what it goes back to. You just have too much supply, so the price is this, whatever. Anyhow, there's just too many seats out there and not enough butts in them.
Because we were talking about last time, revenge travel is over.
It is.
All of the revenge travel that we all did when we couldn't in the pandemic, I'm quickly explaining that, people have already done those trips, and now everyone's like, okay, we're done for a little while. Did I explain that okay?
Yeah, the airlines are constantly trying to predict where people want to fly, when they want to fly, and they have schedules set, and they made some wrong assumptions, and now flight prices continue to decrease. They don't want that, so they're going to be decreasing supply, changing routes, to try to,
We're going to get to deals a little bit later, don't worry, but we always have to talk about whatever's popping in travel news-wise. The Boeing 737 MAX 9 issues. Are they currently flying?
No, not yet. It's important to remember that, like, this aircraft, a very specific variant of the MAX is grounded, so unless you're flying Alaska Airlines, you're more than likely not going to be impacted. There's some United aircraft, but not as many. So unless you're getting the Pacific Northwest, again, probably flying Alaska, you're not going to be impacted by it. But I mean, this is from a flying, just industry thing, this is having a huge impact on Boeing in long term. Oh yeah. Whether airlines are going to be purchasing Airbus aircraft versus Boeing aircraft, and I know it's a little nerdy.
No,
but
please. I love when you nerd out, Jared. I love when you nerd out.
I like to geek out a little bit.
No, that's what people.
This is like airlines are choosing their path forward. Alaska is going to be soon merging with Hawaiian. They have to choose: are they going to be an airline that features Airbus or Boeing? And I think with what they're experiencing now, it is painful. Alaska is a phenomenal airline, but their reputation has been tarnished by this incident.
Not a perfect barometer, but when you are spoofed on SNL, I'm not kidding. I think that when you get into the zeitgeist in that way, never a good thing.
No.
Did you see that skit?
I did. Of course, it's amazing.
It was perfect.
If anyone hasn't seen it, the Alaska Airlines SNL skit, amazing.
Okay, I need you to nerd out again on one of my favorite topics, okay? Credit card points, using credit card points. Now, let me just read this. Why it's better to go outside the credit card portal. Can you kind of explain that?
So, I'm not 100% sure the question.
Oh, transferring credit card points
Yeah.
to an airline
Oh,
instead
yes.
of using them. I'm sorry,
To book,
the
yes.
host messed up, not the guest. Instead of using the credit card points with buying the flight within the credit card company, you transfer them to the airline. Is that what we're supposed to do?
That is what you can do, and what, if you're kind of like feeling more comfortable, and there's just so much value, especially if you want to fly business class. Let's say you want to go to Europe next summer. Let's say you want to fly to even Hawaii, in maybe a lie flat seat, or at least up front. Using your points and miles, transferring them from your Chase account, from your Amex account, from your Citi account, to maybe another airline like United, Delta, American, some foreign carriers like Singapore. That's where a lot of the value's at. And this has gone mainstream in the last 2 to 3 years. We used to talk about it,
We did.
5-6 years ago when I was on the show, and people would be like, I don't know what that is. But now this is like a real thing. And there's tons of value out there, but it can be a little tricky.
Okay, hold that thought. Why it can be tricky, what you can do, plus the legendary deals from Jared when we come back for spring break. Back in a moment. Sorry, buddy, I didn't phrase that well.
No.
I'm telling you, he gives the best travel tips and tricks. Welcome back. Always love when he's here. It's always a good conversation. Jared from Thrifty Traveler. Okay, let's pick up where we left off, and that is transferring. If you got a credit card, let's just use Chase you have Chase points that you've collected because you've used your Chase card at the grocery store. You want to transfer them to an airline.
Let's use United for an example.
Let's use United. Pitfalls.
So the first time you transfer, you're gonna think that it does it instantly, and it should, but the first time, these new accounts, especially if you have a new account created, it can take some time to transfer out. So, let's say you find some amazing deal, you really wanna book, just know that the transfer might take up to 24 hours sometimes. So don't freak out, even though you might look somewhere and be like, it's instant transfers. It's important to know it can take some time for that first transfer.
And don't feel like, oh my God, my points are lost forever.
That's what everyone thinks, that they screwed up, because it's scary.
It is scary.
It's scary because this is a one-way street. You transfer them out of your, Amex account to Delta, and it doesn't do it instantly, and you're like, oh my God. And I'd be scared too.
Yeah.
But just fear not, give it some time.
Let's move to spring break. I could talk about credit cards all day, but we won't. Let's move to spring break. Let me bottom line it for you. For the audience, is it too late to book spring break deals?
Not, and I'm so glad that we're talking about it today. Most folks, as long as you book 30 to 60 days out, that's when, especially 30 days before your butt's going to be in that seat, or your family's, you want to be looking for flights right now. You don't want to book within 30 days. So now is the time, and I know everyone has different spring break depending on where you go to school. So just be looking now, set up Google Flights price alerts for maybe flights that you want to take, and be looking now. That's a big thing.
It's not too late. That's good news.
Yes.
Okay, let's get to it. What are some of the deals?
We have some great deals internationally. So I'll do Minneapolis, departures from Minneapolis, Chicago, Orlando, Seattle. So my two favorites, from Minneapolis to Cancun, $280 nonstop and round trip on Delta through February. So normally like $700. Minneapolis to Chicago. We have not seen this, Jason. I know you haven't either.
Oh.
$90 nonstop on American and Delta through May. $90 nonstop round trip. That was it was crazy. I know we could talk about it.
I've complained about that because I call that the peanut flight.
It is.
Minneapolis to Chicago, I call it the peanut flight because you reach cruising altitude, you eat a damn peanut, and you land. And that flight has been like $600 for years, and I don't understand it. But it's $99 on American.
Yes.
I'm booking it now. Colin, book it.
So just so everybody knows, go on Google Flights to search these. You shouldn't be using anything else. You can search Southwest. That's the only one that's not on Google Flights. But let me keep going here. Chicago to Paris, $478 nonstop round trip on American through April. We're seeing tons, no matter where you live in the U.S., going to Europe is so cheap right now. Another one, Orlando to London, $539 nonstop on British Airways, an American partner, through May, again, through the spring. And then Seattle to Barcelona, Spain, $447 on United, one stop, through April, again. These are nationwide. We're seeing just bananas deals.
These are some of the best deals we've talked about on the show for years.
But you still got to know where to look. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so Google Flights.
Yes, use Google Flights.
Yeah. Or Thrifty Traveler. Or sign up, I'm excited because I don't, especially for Chicagoans, it just doesn't make any sense to me how $400 or $500 for that little bitty flight, an hour-long flight.
Some of those routes are brutal still. They are. It's just the way it is.
Is the 99 thing, is it like Tuesday? I was going to say, yeah, that's why.
It's an important point to make. A lot of these flights, not all of them, but some of them, if you can depart or return on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Saturday, those are just some of those lower traffic days and the days that you're going to find cheaper flights.
What are the days again?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, departures and returns.
So if you can do that.
If you're flexible, I know it's not always easy, especially if you've got a family, but that's one of the big travel hacks.
Forget your family and just leave them and leave. That's
Abandon
right.
your family.
Abandon your family and go to Chicago for 99 bucks. Give it up for Jared, everybody. For the latest flight deals and news, head to thriftytraveler.com. Don't forget to follow him on social as well. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after this. I have the best thing ever.
So much to talk about.
I am doing